having a deed?
Yes, there was.
And what was the fourth item?
The question was, if there was. Let me finish the question before you write. If anything was going to be deeded over to the town, in other words, if the right of way was going to be part of the town right of way, not an easement. Then there would be a deed that they would have to deed that over to us.
Which we have.
Oh,
So say that again, if there was.
yeah, but
a road
now
or
they're
something
talking about
else.
having a deed later at some point.
And the infrastructure, they're gonna have to deed over all the infrastructure.
And I think properly the
Right.
deed should come first.
So,
But I was also talking about the land. In
So,
other words,
um,
what would
For
be
the land, it has an easement deed now.
Dennis, would you, with everybody talking, I'm having a hard time understanding. That fourth item, you said if there was something that was going to be town property?
No, what I had said was, at the time, not now, but at the time, the one thing that we had talked about is that what was going to be the earth, I'm talking about the roads, all that stuff, that was gonna be a right of way.
Would it
Then
be, would
that
we be,
property would have to be deeded over to the town. Now, that's changed, because what they're saying now, it's an easement. So that's why I go back to saying, for the sake of trying to be as accurate as we can, the best thing to do is to get a hold of Seth, find out what was said in either that September or October meeting. And because if there was any communication between him and the developer's representative, that's what they would have talked about back then, not what we're talking about today. That's what they would have talked about back then. Do we have a hard copy of Seth's bill, or maybe he referenced? Itemize
Well,
that,
we had that whole list, remember just last meeting, he gave
Yes.
us that list. Let's see if I
but
can-
he said he had no response from them, and that was just a few weeks ago.
Let's see what it said.
You should be able to get that out of the agenda book. Is that what you have there?
I was reading the.
And at some point, I think we should, this is not on topic. But it occurred to me in sitting here that we should talk to Seth about what do we do for the fact that we have like half a year of no minutes?
Seth had said that it is, according to our plan commission rules, that we really didn't have to do anything, but maybe send them a letter saying that they had exceeded the time allotted, and that if they didn't act, the project was considered void. Because Ariel's gonna get an agenda book, and Seth's comments are in there, and you can read it.
There it is.
there's also a part in our PUD that says. If they're not working within the schedule that the developer provided, but this developer hasn't provided a schedule.
So here it says, applicant status reports and updates submitted by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Possible withdrawal of the application due to the applicant's non-compliance with code and timeline. Where is the status of the development? Is the town going to let developers continue to hold permits while no or little progress is being made on?
They don't
site?
have a,
Says P and Z may request an update and verify if the developer is in compliance with the timelines and requirements.
what are the timelines and requirements?
I don't think we have timeline.
I don't think they gave us the timeline.
They didn't.
I
And
think
when
we
I
have to
said
go,
their extension was denied, that's because to the best of the Kia's recollection, she came in, or they came in and asked for an extension.
They
Because,
said they didn't need it.
because there had been no, timeline provided, it wasn't applicable.
There's a question in the timeline.
Never did.
so did that kind of, I mean, it wasn't specific on what the documents were, but
I mean, he's basically saying, he's asking the planning commission, says we may request an update and verify with the developer is in, if they're in compliance with timelines and requirements. Which we didn't have any timeline requirements. The requirements, I think, were the ones that you're speaking of, that he should have, and,
Session.
but obviously, if he's updating us on this, he didn't have anything.
Right, I think, and that's goes back to what I said, if he had those documents, he would have let the board know.
Right.
It
So
would have been in his report.
if I'm over here being like, let's issue the building permit and move forward with the process, that's my opinion. Now, what are your concerns? Why are you advocating that we don't do that?
I think it's totally out of the sequence of the way things should be done. I think it's,
According to,
according to our plan commission and our municipal code. I think to issue a building permit on a site, I don't understand the urgency. There's no water there, there's no sewer there, technically. Even if there were going to be a septic system, you would want the county health department to show that they had applied for a septic permit or a well permit. We don't even have that. If that
unless
was,
we were doing it wrong for the last 40 years, people have been building houses here without having to show an electric or septic permit. And maybe that was wrong for the last 40 years, but that's how
I think
people.
we made some mistakes when the building over here, when we issued the building permit, like having no code, no bond and this and that. I think we've heard, maybe have heard Gene Farish talk about that. At any rate, I think it's clear that we, for commercial building permits, because at the planning commission meeting, I was there when Bert Wadman presented the list of, I recollect, 15 items that should be done before the building permit was issued. And,
But I don't remember that ever becoming part of our.
but we don't have that many commercial.
I don't remember
developments
that ever
that we
being
issued a
part
building permit.
of our
for.
building permit
Okay,
requirement.
but if you're, so he's expressing his concern and said things are out of order, you're expressing your concern and said we'll get into something and.
Well,
we-
it's also out of order, Bill, that's what Bert Wadman said, before you issue a building permit, this is what you should do. And
But Bert Wadman was just
he was just.
a guy doing drawings up here, so are you concerned that we're gonna get into the project and they're gonna fail? And we'll be left with a mess?
there's always that possibility.
So that is addressed by the bond, right?
Well, and we don't have the bond.
Okay, so we need the bond.
We need,
That's
yeah.
Right back down, we get your point. I have to leave, I'm sorry, I have a previously set a schedule that I have to follow. You do, she did fine, she don't have a video recording of them too.
Oh, she did?
She found a video recording of them too.
Awesome.
Do
Yeah.
Yeah,
do we,
can we hear it?
do we want to make any official actions on our agenda before Jenny leaves, because we'll no longer have a forum?
I'm sorry,
Dennis, I have a question.
Oh, I thought you had that one specific.
Dennis, I have a question. We have an agenda item that says Living Wisdom Project, site plan, review and discussion. Do we need to make a motion, pass a motion that says we feel these changes are minor? Or not?
Did you have time to look through it?
Yeah, we know.
I would just say something to the effect of, the
discussion.
plan submitted seemed to be in compliance with the original project that was approved by the plan commission.
Make no major, and reflect only major changes.
I was,
Minor changes.
I would say they're in substantial compliance of the drawings that were originally approved.
And that you recommend they be recorded with the county because that's part of our PUD process.
There you go.
I noticed the deed.
So is this the official meeting of the planning commission? Then I think you should go ahead.
And we
make
have
that
a
vote.
bare quorum right now, we three. If when Jenny leaves, we no longer have.
So
quorum.
I would suggest you proceed with your vote on that.
Okay, do you have that motion? I'll make the motion.
Can you read that to us if, or do you want to hear it again? I heard it again.
So basically, the planning commission, the planning commission has reviewed both sets of drawings and they're in compliance,
Find something substantial
find them in
compliance.
substantial compliance with, the The fact that there's no minor.
Of the approved project.
Of the approved project.
So sorry, one more.
But you said it so well before.
The plan commission has reviewed the drawings submitted and find them in substantial compliance with the approved project.
And that we want to ask the,
Approve them
approve
to be
them,
recorded with the county.
approve them to be recorded with the county.
Well, we want to.
Is somebody gonna second that motion?
I will second that motion.
Ginny,
Jimmy seconded.
do you get that? Sorry.
The planning commission has reviewed the drawings submitted and finds them in substantial compliance. Was that the word?
With the approved project.
The approved. Planning commission wants to approve the plans and have them be recorded with the county. Motion by,
Sarah?
is that right?
Approves them to be recorded with the county.
And I made a motion and then, Ginny seconded it.
It what?
Ginny seconded it.
I'll second the motion. Oh, you already did, okay.
So put it to a vote.
All in discussion, any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is passed, carries unanimously. Passed unanimously.
We probably have to.
I'll make a
leave.
motion. Huh?
I bet we have to leave if y'all adjourn,
That's true.
but that's fine.
If we adjourn, then the meeting, they have to leave.
Yeah.
Huh? I have to go to, huh?
We might, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do you want to second it?
I second it.
So all in favor, aye, the motion, the meeting
That
is
still
adjourned
has
at
the aye.
11:50.
It still hasn't addressed the question about,
See that sheet in a minute?
so,
Sorry.
that still hasn't addressed the question of,
That,
how we're gonna proceed.
No.
that is my last official town meeting.
Oh. Good job. How about this, Kizen, since you're passing, why don't you and Dennis talk, because we're not allowed to talk now as a meeting.
Do what, I'm sorry?
Because the meeting's over, we can't talk as a group,
Right,
so maybe you two could talk,
right.
because Dennis has the most idea, in my opinion.
Just coming over to do that later.
Because of,
Well, I think pretty much it would let, and Mark was saying,
So,
that Dennis is going to go.
since I was there, it was a question for you to ask Seth Wallace. I want to call it.
Already did.